Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe. These three words, the last gasps of George Floyd under the knee of a police officer in Minneapolis in May 2020, triggered a global shockwave. But Black Lives Matter (BLM) was not born that day. This movement is the direct heir of Pan-African struggles, Black Power, the fight against apartheid, and the African tradition of resistance. As students of Alkebulan Academy, you must understand that BLM is not a mere media trend, it is a reaffirmation of Black dignity, a rallying cry against systemic racism, and an update of Pan-Africanism for the digital age. Today, we will deconstruct this movement, its roots, its methods, and its global impact, connecting it to our shared heritage. Fundamental notions. Black Lives Matter is a social and political movement born in 2013 in the United States, after the acquittal of George Zimmerman, the murderer of Black teenager Trayvon Martin. It was founded by three Black women, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi. The movement is structured around autonomous local chapters, without centralized hierarchy, and uses social networks as a tool for organization and awareness. Historical and philosophical context. BLM is part of the long tradition of civil rights struggle in the United States. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Black Panthers, but also of global Pan-Africanism. The movement rejects respectability politics, the idea that Black people must behave well to deserve justice, and affirms that Black lives have intrinsic value, regardless of behavior. This idea comes directly from the philosophy of Frantz Fanon, who denounced the dehumanization of Black people in the colonial system, and Kwame Nkrumah, who called for Pan-African solidarity against oppression. Main demands: end police brutality and systemic racism, dismantle the prison industrial complex, reparations for slavery and segregation, economic and social justice for Black communities, fair political and cultural representation. Methods of action. BLM uses various tactics: street protests, civil disobedience, social media campaigns, hashtags Black Lives Matter, Say Her Name, legislative advocacy, popular education, and artivism. Militant art. The movement is decentralized, which makes it resilient but also criticized for its lack of a single leader. In-depth study. Pan-African roots of BLM. BLM is not an isolated phenomenon. It is an extension of 20th century Pan-Africanism. When Marcus Garvey advocated for Back to Africa and Black Pride, he laid the foundations for a global Black consciousness. Similarly, American Black Power. Stokely Carmichael, Angela Davis was inspired by African liberation struggles for Limo, ANC, PEG. BLM takes up this idea of diasporic solidarity. Police violence against Black people in the United States is linked to the exploitation of resources in Africa, odious debt, and global racism. Criticisms and internal debates. Some African intellectuals like Moaletsine Mbeki believe BLM is too US-centric and neglects African realities. Others criticize its lack of a concrete economic program. The movement has also been accused of neglecting violence against Black women and Black LGBTQ+ people, although the founders have always included these dimensions. Finally, Pan-Africanist voices call for a BLM that does not limit itself to policing but also tackles neocolonialism and Western imperialism. Global impact. BLM has inspired similar movements all over the world. In France, justice for Adama Traoré; the United Kingdom, Windrush scandal; Brazil, Marielle Franco; South Africa, fees must fall. It has also strengthened the demand for reparations and the restitution of African cultural property. The movement has forced institutions, museums, universities, companies to review their practices and acknowledge their complicity in systemic racism. BLM was born in 2013 after the acquittal of George Zimmerman. Founded by three Black women, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, Opal Tometi. Decentralized movement, without a single leader. Part of the Pan-African and civil rights tradition. Uses social media, protests, and artivism. Demands: end police brutality, reparations, economic justice. Criticized for lack of concrete program and US-centric focus. Inspired global movements: France, UK, Brazil, South Africa. Linked to the philosophy of Fanon, Garvey, Nkrumah. Affirms the intrinsic value of Black life, unconditionally. To analyze a movement like BLM, use the following framework: 1. Historical context. What previous struggles? 2. Actors. Who are the leaders? The social base. 3. Demands. What, why, for methods. How. 5. Impact. Concrete and symbolic changes. 6. Criticisms. Internal and external limits. This framework can be applied to any social movement. Tip: always connect local facts to the global Pan-African dimension. Read Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis, The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, and Black Lives Matter, The Movement, The History, The Future by J.E.J. McLeod. W. Atch the documentary 13th by Ava DuVernay. Follow the Twitter accounts at BlackLivesMatter and at Asatroore. Analyze the speeches of Patrisse Cullors and Alicia Garza.